important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. You're late. You're late. You're late.
Wow. The type of night it's gonna be, huh?
Yep.
Just gonna take over everything. Boom.
Boom shakalaka. 35 seconds.
Nobody's here.
Nobody's here. Yeah.
Well, look who it is.
Yeah,
It's naturally.
My cheeks are really red today.
That's because we've been out in the sun.
Yeah.
Dork.
Yeah, but my I don't even know if it's rosy, whatever it is. It usually just gets bad when I've been drinking, but I haven't been drinking today. So it's like this one. It's like really red right here.
Yeah. D, can you hear
Anna.
us? Huh?
D, Anna.
Speed Racer, can you hear us?
Deanna got a chance to see the not-so-Christian side of me today.
Oh, really?
Yes. Gabriella Como. Hello, hello. Why are you snapping at the microphone? I can see that. It's working just fine. Look at the beak.
Yeah, well, D's not answering. Nobody's answering when I'm asking a question.
There's a delay. Hello.
Hello.
See? There it is.
Tinker's wife.
What's up? Patty, how are you?
Windswept.
Loma Acres. What's up?
What's up? Where's the Brussels
I support your Tawanda moment.
There's another private joke.
Oh, it's just a thing. What?
I have weird friends.
Who is that?
Why you mind your business?
Whatever.
It's Mr. Windswept, but he decided to say hi on Facebook, and I don't know why. He's weird. We can hear you. Well, thanks, Sam. Appreciate that. Sound good from here.
I support your Tawanda moment. That's a good friend right there. She's like, I have got your back. Even if it's from 4 hours away.
But I can be there in 2 hours because...
That is all him. Nothing to say with that.
Because every time I get behind the wheel, I think I'm in NASCAR.
Well, I mean, she gotta go. Didn't she gotta go through Charlotte?
I don't know.
Kiki Gardens, what's up?
He's a goof.
Mm-hmm.
She was telling my head.
I know, but so was he. That's why they're perfect for each other.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. You're both.
Well, look at that.
Look at who the cat. I just asked my lawyer. Oh, that's so funny.
Hey, we have 2 D's in a row.
Does
that mean we're double D?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, so as a lot of you guys know that I have been working really hard at losing weight and getting rather frustrated sometimes. Well, Robin made an appointment for me to speak with the dietitian at the VA. And between her and my doctor, they put me on a different workout regimen. So, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do my cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those of you that are interested in losing weight and want to start a cardio regimen, there is a great YouTube channel out there. They're called The Body Project, right?
Yes, I think that's right. The Body Project.
The Body Project. They're from Australia.
It's low impact, but high, like, you can.
Your heart and lungs will thank you for it.
Yeah, that's what he says. But it's
right after he knocks it off the park.
now the intensity. The nice thing about this is the intensity you can kind of control. Like if you want to do it a little bit, slower, then you're more than welcome to. If you want to really, push the intensity, then you can do that as well. So and then all of the stuff that I've seen him do so far, you can actually add like little weights, or leg weights or whatever to even push the intensity even more if you want. So
yeah. So I was doing that 5 days a week. 5 days, sometimes 6.
You were, 5, sometimes 6 days.
Then we got COVID.
And that just screwed everything.
That screwed everything up for a couple weeks, almost a month. Mm-hmm. And
we're at a month now. Linda Jacobs, hello.
And so I started back, was doing it, but I was getting very frustrated because the weight just wasn't coming off. Now, they gave us this wonderful Fitbit thing, and I've been keeping track of what I intake. So, on average, I was, on the high side, I was getting 2,000 calories a day, but the average was between 1,500 and 1,800 calories a day. But I was burning anywhere from 3,500 to 4,000 according to the Fitbit.
Every day.
Every day, but the weight wasn't coming off. And so I was getting very frustrated. I was probably even a little bit hard to live with for a couple of days. And then Robin got a hold of the dietitian and my doctor. And so now they got me on a whole totally different thing where Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I get to do my workout with Body Project. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I am now weight training. So Monday I did my back and biceps. Tuesday I did back and biceps. Thursday I did chest and triceps, and
you didn't even move. That's how much you hurt.
I haven't picked the heaviest thing that I have picked up since that day, since Thursday afternoon, has been a fork. And I was straining. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. My triceps and my chest really is killing me. I am so sore. But it's a good sore. Tomorrow I have to stretch because on Sundays we have to stretch. I didn't even lift weights today. But my chest all through, like, up around in here. Oh, my man boobs are killing me. Robin likes that my boobs are sore because she gets to put Deep Blue on me. And so, I don't know what's going through her head, but she puts Deep Blue on like this.
No, I don't. I'm tracing the...
No, don't trace nothing.
Tracing the muscle, and he's like, oh!
Yeah, because that's how I act. So if I look a little uncomfortable tonight, that is why. Mm-hmm. Because this all originally kind of, I don't know, well, one, it kind of started because the stuff for my TBI started working and my brain frog. Well, it used to be lifted. Brain fog lifted.
Yeah.
And I really just didn't like what I was looking at when I was looking in the mirror. And so really started working, and then I started, my elbow started hurting, so I ended up going to physical therapy. Well, that guy said that there is something in this part of my arm that shouldn't be there. So now we're waiting for the MRI. But on a positive note, I have lost 20 pounds.
Yeah, but you were cussing out everything this morning.
Yeah. I really wanted to be in the 230s by now.
Yeah, but I think and I know we keep going back and forth about the big thing we keep going back and forth with is now that he is not only doing cardio and doing muscle training or weight training, he's gonna have a transition where, you know, weight is gonna be a little bit harder to come off because he's rebuilding muscles he hasn't had in a while and things like that.
Oh, I've always had them,
but
they were insulated with fat.
But what it may just be me, but like we were looking at pictures. We posted a picture today of him on Facebook and on Instagram with the slicer, and he looks like he's lost weight to me. So whether or not, you know, and you feel better. Mm-hmm. So it's just one of those things is that, and your pants.
Well, that's one thing I was getting ready to say is I am down from a 2XL.
Well, this
shirt,
is a 2X, and you're swimming in it. Yeah.
From a 2XL shirt down to an XL shirt,
mm-hmm.
and I'm starting to kind of swim
mm-hmm.
in the XL shirt,
mm-hmm.
and my pants that I've got on right now,
used to be pretty tight.
These used to be tight, and they were 42s,
mm-hmm.
and now I've got the
your belt on.
I got
like
my belt
cinched.
on, and I cinch it down so much that the pants literally do that, like they're crossing their fingers, hoping you don't bend over and bust the seam, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm.
Yeah, you can definitely see in the picture. Mm-hmm. So that's what I told him. I hate because he literally gets up every single morning and weighs himself like every morning, and I'm like, you really need to like relax on that, because if your clothes are fitting better, like that's a good indicator that you're losing some weight. No matter what the numbers say, you know.
I know.
So.
But I have a mission. I have a goal. I'm rifled in on that goal.
Well, fortunately, next week you've got your doctor's appointment mm-hmm. and your regular primary care doctor's appointment. So we're planning on asking him to test some different levels on you as well to make sure that you're not fighting an uphill battle either. So, what?
So, I don't. How many of y'all saw the picture on Facebook or Instagram today? I am so ready to get rid of this stupid cough.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a big fat thumbs up if you guys saw those pictures today. Because if you did, then you know, well, if you saw the video, One Step Closer to Roast Beef Sandwiches, which I thought was an awesome title. Did not perform very well, but I thought that was an awesome title. I think the thumbnail was...
Well, it's kind of hard because we didn't want to, like, we had another thumbnail that had a picture with all the equipment, mm-hmm. but I felt like if I put the picture with that title, that it would kind of like... Let
the cat out of the bag.
Right.
And the problem is, it's a lot easier to let the cat out of the bag than it is to put it back in. To put the cat back in.
Yeah,
So.
I don't know.
But for those of you that haven't seen the video, shame on you. Shame.
You're funny.
Go back and watch it. But our processing equipment came in. Mm-hmm. And today...
I saw someone run like a kid at Christmas. I'm telling you, it was so funny. It's hard to really tell in the video, but like... My original plan, y'all, when we ordered everything...
I got wheels.
I was checking with the tracking to see when it was going to come. Because I wanted to catch... I knew how excited he was. I wanted to catch him being able to see it being delivered and all of that stuff. Well, Saturday morning, I hadn't told anybody about when it was coming. So Saturday morning, I was ready to catch it all. So we were outside. It was windy. We were doing a bunch of stuff. But that morning, I had gotten an update that it wasn't going to be delivered. It had been delayed. So my guard was down that we weren't going to be getting this stuff. Well,
which proves that I am in God's favor more than Robin.
Apparently. So... he was sitting there. We were sitting there finishing up. We had just had like moving the pigs and everything in the wind. It was cold. It was miserable.
So it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty bad. By the time that you got to the boxes, it wasn't. But first thing, like the hour before, it was cold. Like it was ripping through us. And then the sun started coming, kind of overhead, and then it was better. But at that point, we're hooking everything up, and I was down getting film of the pigs inside their new area, and I hear Jason go, "Hey! Hi, we're right here." And I was like, "Who are you talking to?" And I thought he was talking to our neighbor. And so I looked down by our neighbor. I don't see the neighbor anywhere. And I'm like, "Who are you talking to?" And that was where the video, because I just turned the video and came around to him. And I was like, "Man, that stinks," because I had this whole thing planned out. And
I told the FedEx guy thank you and waved. And you're like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "The FedEx guy."
I'm like, "What FedEx guy? He's not supposed to be here till tomorrow."
That one right there.
And then there goes the truck. And I'm like, ugh.
And then you turned your back on me and I took off.
He took off. Yeah, so I turned my back. I'm filming. Or no, I didn't turn my back. I turned the camera. So I was filming, talking about being able to get. And then I look up and here he goes. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He just started running. And I was like, boy never runs for anything. That was great.
So I was over the top excited.
The funny part was, did you intentionally take the long way? Because your daughters swear it was because you were doing steps, but I swear you were just so excited you just didn't even
I
pay
forgot
attention.
about that gap between the two chicken runs. Because I was running, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm finna get it." And then I went, "Oh, chicken netting." And I was like, turned it into a post pattern, and I just kept running. And I was like, "Well, I'm just NASCAR now." I'm like, and then I turned left, and it just kept on going.
Meanwhile, I go right through it.
I forgot about the pathway that we made.
It's so funny. I was
forgot
dying.
about it. That was my TBI saying you needed to get your more steps in because chasing 4 pigs wasn't enough. I think I had like 12,000 steps
You were at
by
80.
lunch.
No, you were at 85. I remember this because you said you were at 8,500 steps, and it was like 12 o'clock. I was like, the day's halfway over, and you're almost through to your 10,000. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Because see, I got a lot of y'all, some of y'all that are even in this chat, and some of them that are not. We're Fitbit friends, and one of them is Farmer Meemaw. And so,
do you get her messages? Do you read her little messages
on the Fitbit?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and you can taunt somebody like nanny nanny boo boo, and then you can cheer somebody on. Well, Farmer Meemaw put me in a competition with her.
Oh no!
This week.
Oh.
And then I was like, okay. And when I joined the competition, it said, "You've joined the competition, but no need to worry. You're 12,000 steps in the lead." So I got a message from Farmer Meemaw that says, "That was kind of stupid of me to send you this weekly competition," and then I went and sat down. Or her Fitbit was low, and so she had to take it off and charge it. So she lost like 3 hours worth of steps.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And,
hey, JRC.
But it came across earlier today that I won.
No, I bet.
It wasn't even funny.
I bet.
Wasn't even funny by
well,
how much I won
and
by.
to be fair though, this is definitely the time of year that things really start picking up for us and for everybody. But for us a lot because we have animals, and animals need to be moved, and animals need to be taken care of, and they get out, and they, there's all these different things.
And we have the way that our property is laid out, that was laid out from before us. There's some spots that I can turn into paddocks and let the animals graze the grass, but there's some that it's half an acre, and I'm out there with the push mower and cutting it that way, and because one, like between the grapes, you're not because we got a zero turn.
You're not gonna put your pigs there, because they'll root it all up.
We got a 0 turn from a deal that we made with Jeremiah,
But it's not.
But it's not going to fit between the rows.
No.
It's not going to fit in some of the areas around fence and stuff. So I don't mind it. I actually enjoy.
Well, the other nice thing too is with each bag, you can take that over and either put it in the compost, give it to the goats, give it to the chickens. Like, there's a lot that goes on with it. So that's the thing, that's what I was saying. It's kind of unfair because a lot of the stuff that you have to do is like a minimum of 100 steps just out the front. I mean, out into the front pasture, you know. So, and then moving around and doing this and doing that.
It's actually almost 300 steps from the front door to the gate.
Okay. So, see, that's what I was saying, like to the pasture, just to the front pasture right there. Like right by the garden. It would be like a little over 100, 150 steps probably. So, you know, over by the time you get over to the, where all the pigs are now, like that's...
Yeah, that's close to 500.
Yeah.
Like if I take a lap... And I go from the front door up to the gate, down around that front pasture.
Check on the pigs.
Down back around behind the shop. Come out by the red barn, go down to the gate. And then hook up by the pride pen, come down and go back up to the front door. It's right around 1,100 steps.
Yeah, I believe that.
So...
I believe that. And that's really the thing, is like at any point in time, it can be, hey, I need to go over to the shop. That's... you know, probably 400 steps. So it's like, that's the thing is our area is so spread out that it definitely enables, you know, you to get a lot of steps in. So the days that you have to go do your acupuncture and stuff, you suffer a little bit, at least on Tuesday, because you don't do a lot of walking around and going to the store. On Thursday you do, so. I
remedied that.
Oh yeah? How?
Yeah. I now have my own path in his office.
Oh yeah. That's
you
right.
Can actually,
you've been wearing out.
You can actually see a difference in the color. Because sometimes he gets in there with a new patient, and look, I love Dr. Jim to death, but the man can talk.
Yes.
Okay, there's been times that I've been...
His bedside manner is top notch.
Yeah, I've been in there 2-3 hours, and I'm just like, just stab me so I can go.
Yeah.
And... So there are times in there that I almost get 6,000 steps just walking.
Just walking back and forth. The other day you were there for like 2 hours, and I was like, geez.
Because he had 2 brand new patients.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but back to the
slicer.
The slicer. That thing was nice. We sliced our pork belly.
That's the picture. If you haven't seen the picture, there were a couple people that said they didn't see it. We took a picture after we sliced the bacon, and it's just really cool.
Now I did learn one thing, and this is not a negative on the slicer. It taught us something today.
Yes, that's the pokey doctor.
We when we're cutting our pork bellies, in order to get nice long strips of bacon.
Well, they're only going to be so long because our slicer's only... Right.
We have to be very particular when we're cutting the pork belly.
Well, I think Carol had a good point. We were talking that if we just, when we're processing the hog to cut those bellies up, that then, you know, we'd have them the right size for when we smoke them. But Carol was like, well, I don't think we should do that because there's still going to be other pieces that we want smoked. And those little end pieces, if we cut them off ahead of time, they're going to just go into the sausage. And if we do it this way, then we'll still have some smoked pieces, some chunkier pieces of the bacon that we can use for, like today. We had some mashed potatoes, and she put a couple of the little pieces inside, so you know, so.
Yeah, they are Hampshire, Berkshire, for the ones that we processed.
And I have to say, out of every breed that we've done so far, I am the most happy with this cross that we have. I really like the flavor profile of these guys. The marbling on the meat, the fat cap on them was really good for just being, not being a lard hog. I prefer them, and I know Jason's probably going to shake his head, but I prefer them to the Yorkshires. So I like them better. But I think he still... And the reason, believe it or not, the reason he likes the Yorkshires is because they're a longer bodied pig than the ones that we're currently raising. The Berkshire is a little bit more compact. Not small like like an American guinea hog, but they're a little bit more compact than the Yorkshire. And so the Yorkshire has the big long belly. That's where you get the big racks of ribs, you get the big amount of bacon for, the belly for the bacon. So that's why he likes it, because there's more bang for your buck in those. So
is it chat acting okay?
I guess. I don't know. Don't be breaking stuff.
I'm not gonna break stuff.
I don't know.
But I was the slicer itself done really, really well. Now we sliced ours pretty thin.
We sliced it probably close to what you would get in the store. Yeah. Pretty close to what you get in the store. The difference is because when you get the stuff in the store, it's already completely thawed and it's been sitting in a refrigerator. We cut ours where it was somewhat still frozen to make it easier going through the slicer to get a nice clean, crisp cut. So that's the big difference. So
TNS Dogs and Dragonfires. Welcome.
Up?
What's going on? It has been a long time.
Our neighbor about passed out when he saw the ribs that came out. Yeah, I mean, they're massive.
Yeah. Do you have a video, Naturally NC, coming out here pretty soon about your guys' experience with those?
I know I saw her. She posted on Instagram today.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited if y'all did. I'm super excited to see that video. Those of you that don't know Naturally NC, they are a small little homestead in North Carolina.
I have to vote for more bacon.
And we gave them some pigs for Christmas this past year.
No, not just now Christmas, but the Christmas before.
Yeah.
So, past year was 2021. This was actually 2020 that we gave them the pigs. Just saying. They're a little over a year old is what I'm basically getting at. Yeah, I didn't get much footage from the processing, but I'm going to put something together about it. Cool.
Well, the pigs got big enough and they processed them
couple weeks
ago. The funniest thing is that in Apollo, she was talking about they could not lead the one pig. He would not come out of the pen. Mm-mm. They tried leading him with feed, honey buns, I think was one of the things that I heard. But Dee said,
all of y'all old school people that have been with us for a little while will get this.
She said, wait a minute. My friend raised this one up a little bit and raised its mama. So she ran over there and got Curly Doc. And that daggone pig coming running out of that pen. Boogity, 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 boogity.
They're a sucker for that Curly Doc. I don't know what it is about it, but they love it. Like, when the day we moved them over, when you got your boxes, we had poured feed to kind of keep them in the middle while we were building the fence around them. And Carol or whoever had poured the feed out, didn't spread it out, just put it in a pile. And there's 4 of them in there. And so they're all, pushing each other around. Well, I grabbed some Curly Doc and I got Leia's attention. And she came over to me and was like, y'all can have that crappy feed. I want that Curly Doc.
Is that or an eggplant?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
So
anyway.
I don't know about where y'all are, but our gas got up to almost $4 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of tinkering back down because our governor signed a...
And I don't even think that's gone in yet. I think because I was in Hartwell today, it was $3.86, but I don't think that that's gone into effect yet. So it's gone down a little bit, but I think it's really going to go down once. I think he signed it. He was supposed to sign it yesterday. I don't know if he finished it.
Okay, C-Dean asks, how old of a pig do you normally butcher? That question is kind of, as of right now, not the norm for us. And this is why. We don't have a walk-in cooler or a walk-in freezer or any type of way to let the pigs hang. So we have to wait till winter.
Yeah.
And if we don't get at least 24 to 48 hours of something below 50, then we don't process. So sometimes they're a year old or less. Sometimes they are a lot older than that. Like this last year, we done a total of 5. 2 of them were like 9-10 months.
Yeah, they were
right at
about a year.
Yeah.
But
2 of them were a little over a year. No, we did 2 big ones. I'm sorry. 1 of them was over a year. 1 was over 2 years. But then the big one that we did, Scarface, he was what, 3 years old?
3 or 4.
No, he was older than that. He might have been 5 because we were planning for him to be charcuterie. So we let him get to 2 years old because you came back from a class with hand hewn and they said let him be 2. And then
like 4.
So it was like 4. So he was like 4 years old. And
I don't know, everybody has their own opinion on different things, but when I did the class with hand hewn, they said that the older they are, especially the males, which I found interesting, to not worry about the male being, older because the flavor, you get more of a flavor profile. And I will tell you, all we processed were males this year. And because we had to thin that out and get that under control. Yeah. And none of them, they were all intact. Mm-hmm. And not once did we have an issue with any kind of nasty flavor, I guess. I don't like the word taint, but, it just didn't, there was no bad flavor at all with any of them. Mm-hmm. The only thing that we found out with charcuterie, it doesn't matter if the meat's tough. So that was the only thing that we found was it a ham that we had that was we had to cook it a little bit longer. But, overall, all the ones that we've processed, they've been tasty, very good, no problems at all. Yeah. So.
And we cranked up the smoker, mm-hmm. which I have to do an updated video on the smoker because we have added a few things mm-hmm. To it. But I'm going to end up rebuilding the smokehouse.
No, you're just going to build another one.
Same thing.
No, it's not, because that one's going to stay right where it is.
What am I going to use it for?
I don't know, but you're going to... cheese. I don't know. Oh, what? What's going on here?
Doing cheese.
He must have texted. Yeah, we can do we could smoke some cheese, some salt. You could smoke salt. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Salt. I guess I could do salt.
Yeah.
There are some things that I like about that smokehouse. But there are some things that I would change, I guess is the best.
You mean in that current one?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my current one.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing about homesteading is you're going to do things a certain way, and then you're going to find that maybe you needed to do it this way, or you're going to learn through experience.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. It's not something that, it's not something that you just get it right on the first time every time. Now, there may be some that you get lucky and you get it right the first time, but not everything. You're never going to get everything right the first time, no matter how much research you do, because there's always going to be a factor of something that's not in a book that you read. So, somebody asked, do we do goats? Yes.
Yes.
We have dairy goats. We have Nigerian dwarfs. We have some babies right now. I think taint is more strong depending on what they are fed. I don't know. I think the thing that we've found, now one of the things that we've been able to do is we always make sure, because I always thought it was associated with the testosterone and adrenaline, those two things. Because when you're hunting, it's the same thing. If you have an adrenaline shot, you can definitely have a little bit more of a taste, to a buck or to a boar or whatever. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that we've done to make sure that it's not an issue, at least our theory is that it would be the testosterone, is we don't process them when we have sows in heat. And you can very easily see that because their backside gets swole up real big. And so when it's swollen, we don't process them then. So that's basically what we've done is we just wait until we have a good cold weekend or week, whatever. We were very lucky this past year. God blessed us with 5 weekends where it was just super cold it would start Thursday night. And so Friday morning they could kind of get everything ready to go, and by Friday afternoon, we could either kill them or wait till first thing on Saturday morning, and then by, Monday everything would warm back up again. Mm-hmm. So it was cool. Let's see. Chris wants to build a smokehouse, so I guess that's his way of saying we'll have more pigs in the future. That's awesome. What? I want a smokehouse once we get a bigger property. Looking into building a smokehouse. If you take the male's jewelry, will the taint be less? I don't know. We've never processed any where we did that. We've never done it.
Cold smoke.
Because we've never had an issue.
Yeah.
So.
Really, I think I do both.
Yeah.
I think I do a mixture of both. It really depends on what we're doing. Like the bacon, I think we do a full. What did you have to get it to? 160, 170, something. Yeah, we got it. We get it up to the internal temperature of 160, so the bacon is pretty much fully cooked.
Yeah, which is nice because
some people, as the bacon is being sliced, can't help themselves.
When it's swole, no cull. Absolutely, that's exactly right. Yeah, I know you did not just say somebody can't help themselves. You looking in a mirror?
No.
Oh my gosh,
no,
really?
I'm looking in the camera.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. Jason, almost took his finger off because he wanted to grab a slice and eat it.
That is so not true.
Oh, you're allowed to exaggerate, but I'm not?
I'm known for my key skill of exaggeration.
Oh, okay.
You're known for attention to detail.
Yeah.
You can't go throwing a loop around and all of a sudden try to become the queen of exaggeration. Because one,
I don't want to be the queen of exaggeration.
It doesn't work that way. Mm-mm. And two, there's never going to be a spot in this world after the Marine Corps that I am going to be 1,000% attention to detail to your level.
Never. 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 So.
Because it's like if the girls ask, when were you born? When was I born? Depending on who asks, you'll tell them straight down to the second. Well, Carol, it was February 25th at 3:33 in the afternoon.
No. I'm like, you were born after lunch but before dinner. That's all I got for you. The only reason I remember Blaze was because it was like right before my due date was the very next day. So I used to always, make fun of him because he was born like 24 minutes before the next day. So that's the only reason I know that.
Go Daddy, we don't AI. We have a buck, and we have had tremendous amount of luck with the buck. Just like we used to have our dairy cows, and when we first started with dairy cows, we tried AIing, and
we've never had luck with AI.
Never had luck with him, and I mean that costs some money.
Mm-hmm.
After 2 or 3 times with an AI, you've paid for a bull. So we just decided to just go all natural. And yes, it can be aggravating to keep a bull, especially if it's a longhorn and gets a wild hair up his butt like Freckles did. But for the most part, most bulls are okay.
And the other thing is, they're not much different than a rooster if you're a chicken person. They really do keep the herd kind of in, they keep them in line. Mm-hmm. They kind of keep an eye on the babies. They're very protective. And really, even in that experience, we learned a lesson, and that was that we didn't have enough females. We had a whole bunch of males on the property and not enough females. And it was spring into summer. It was mating season, and he had already, I'm pretty sure, had already bred with calf cow, and after that was done, it's like, now what, So, my Abby came on her due date despite being induced 2 days early in a marathon of Super Nanny being on hospital TV. Miss Daisy went on her own trips for a bull. I know. I mean, and that's what was funny is like that's all he was doing. He was chasing, because everywhere that he went that we found him, when we were chasing him, he was going to where there were open heifers. And even when he went to our transporter's farm, that's exactly the very first thing he did. And it was so funny because Ladessa and I, our neighbor where he was at in their field, he has taken down all of the trees that we were chasing him through back when we were going through all that. And so he's taken that all out. So his entire property now is wide open to be able to see from the road. And Ladessa, we were going to go get feed today, and she was looking out in the field, and I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm starting to look for little speckled babies. And I was like, it's still too early. But she just swears. She swears there's going to be some little speckled babies.
So, remember last week, for those of you that were here, we dropped a hint that our channel members will be getting a surprise gift as soon as it arrives to us.
It arrived.
It arrived. And so once we get it all divvied out to channel members, then we are going to start doing some giveaways. And I bet right now you're going, all right, Big Bear. All right, Jason. What's in the box? Right? What's in the box? And no, it is not an Aborigine air or rain.
It's a rain tube. That's exactly what it is.
Da, 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 da. Fresh from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. It's a box full of seeds. So there are tomato seeds in here. There's kale seeds in here. There's pepper seeds in here. Flowers.
Herbs.
I think I've seen some squash seeds. Some melons. So there's a good variety.
Yes. Berkey. I wish it was Berkey Waterfield.
Yeah.
Jerky gun.
So
what's in the box? I think my eyes literally just bugged out of my head.
So our channel members will be getting some of these.
Do they have their addresses? Like, none of that's in their stuff, so they're gonna have to send us their addresses.
Send their stuff.
Yeah. So if you're a channel member, we need your address so we can mail you some fun stuff.
And also, channel members. Now that we have a jerky gun, I may be reaching out to our channel members when we make jerky to try different flavors to get you guys to give us, what are they called? Testers? What are they called? Surveyors. Anyway, basically to samplers send them some samples of our jerky, and then get some feedback on stuff, because I can't wait to do that. So, you took your boots off.
I did. My feet were hurting.
I'm sorry.
And I'm a pretty normal person. I don't have a whole lot of weird quirks, but this is really bothering me. My sock.
Oh yeah, I hate that sock when I get it, when it's my turn to wear it.
Drives me crazy.
Can't stand it.
So, yeah, guinea pigs. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, the guinea pigs. Yeah, beta testers. That's probably the better way to say it.
There we go. Yeah.
Taste testers, yeah.
Yep.
So, speaking of cowboy candy, we're almost out. But it was so funny because
Carol puts it in everything now.
So I made an order through Baker Creek like before that stuff came in. And it was funny because Ladessa was asking me today she was like, did you order any cayenne? And I was like, I'm pretty sure I did. Here's the order list. And she started licking, and she was like...
She started licking?
Looking. And she was like, Mom, that's a lot of... Hush your mouth. She's like, Mom, that's a lot of peppers. And I'm like, I got 2 words for you. And she was like, what? And I was like, cowboy candy. Like, we're going to make it out of every pepper that we're raising, like we're growing this year. One of them I cannot wait to do, which is the peach. What is it called? Sugar peach. It's a hot pepper.
Terry just had a good idea.
Terry had a good idea. Where is it? Cowboy candy beef jerky. Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Especially if you were to do like because you still have that brine left over when you're done with the can. You can mix, even if you didn't put the pepper in it and just use the brine in the meat. That would be good too. Yeah. So yeah. But it's called Sugar Rush Peach. Sugar Rush Peach peppers. 2 years ago we grew those, and they burned my mouth off because I thought...
You complaining about a banana pepper sometimes.
Okay, anyway.
And the peppers
So I thought this was a banana pepper. I don't like pepperoncini. But the ones I thought were banana peppers, it looks like a banana pepper, but it turns a little yellowish pinky color. And so I thought it was just an overripe banana pepper. So I went to pick it. I went to pick it off, and I took a bite of it, and I was sorely mistaken. And so I told my husband, I'm like, we've got a lot of these peppers. Like, we had a ton of them. And I was like, what do we do with them? They're so hot. And I don't remember who it was told me. I'm sure it was probably somebody in this chat. Told me that if I pickled them, that they might, or not pickled them, but even just canning, canning them, that it would subdue the heat a little bit. And the thing is that when I was eating it, it was weird, but I kind of had this like citrusy aftertaste, even though my tongue was like burning itself off. And so I always thought that was interesting. Well, when fast forward, to when we were opening up the cans, the jars of the different peppers we did, I got a chance to do the Sugar Rush Peach, and you most definitely can taste the citrusy, peachy, whatever kind of undertone that's in it. And so I'm really excited to be able, like, some of these different peppers, to be able to taste that.
I'm just wondering why they called it peach. If it had a citrus, a citrus
the color,
taste to it.
because it looks like a peach color. Oh. It's a pretty color, but it has like a citrus undertone. It's really good. I'm gonna get where's my plants starts from the local nursery plus star magazines. Learned from watching Stivers. Charlie, I was crying from laughing so hard. I still have never had cowboy candy, but over in Oregon, I have the Sugar Rush Peach peppers. I bet they would make a good fermented pepper sauce. Yeah, they probably would. Are the loofahs still growing wild? No, because Jason put landscape fabric over that area and put my planting station there, and so they're not coming back. However, I ordered loofah seeds. And Jason's not happy with me.
The tinker's wife, we're going to have to remedy that.
Why?
She's never had cowboy candy.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we didn't even make it, so traditionally cowboy candy is made with jalapenos. My jalapenos did not do very well this past year.
Jalapenos on a stick.
But my poblanos for the last 2 or 3 years have done amazing. So... But this past year, the poblanos were a little bit spicier than normal. And so we went ahead and used those to make our cowboy candy. And they were really good. But you could pretty much make cowboy candy with any hot pepper. I have to order some more rat traps from Jason.
Kathleen, just let us know.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, with everything going up, we have not talked to our...
Hey, Idaho Hoosier. That's a tongue twister.
Guy, but the cost may have gone up.
Yeah, so I gotta look at that. Let me find out, and I'll get with you. I'll let you know. So tomorrow is the official first day of spring.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
So... we just went through this whole daylight savings thing, right?
Yes, last Sunday.
And now I've gotten a couple of pop-up news things that Congress is voting, or they did vote to make this a permanent thing, supposedly, like nationwide. The states that are not participating in daylight savings time are going to have to participate.
Oh, I thought it was the opposite. I thought it was they were going to get rid of it. I don't know.
Well, it said in the big thing to make permanent.
Nowadays, I don't pay attention to any of that stuff.
I don't really understand the concept of it.
Well, I mean, you always see the post, about only we would think that it would make sense to, cut the top off of a blanket and sew it to the bottom, and somehow it's going to be longer.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Had the worm moon last night. Yeah. It was a very interesting looking moon. April, you said yes, starting in 2023. What do you mean? Hello, Julie.
Hi, Julie. How you doing?
That really is hard to say. Idaho Hoosier. We are not in the natural time right now.
Amen.
Mm-mm. Nope. Absolutely not. Speaking of which, I just saw the link for Gallagher. I was down at our Feed and Seed today, and I saw somebody buying a Gallagher charger.
Yeah? Did you talk to him?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say?
Great charger. That's what I told him. Gallagher makes the best chargers. I said, we've been doing this for 15 years, and I will tell you that we've tried all of the different chargers that they have out there, all the ones from Tractor Supply, supposedly the best one online that started them all, and we've done all of those, and nobody packs a punch like Gallagher. So Seattle won't see sunrise in the winter until almost 9 a.m. That's crazy. That is crazy. Hello, Sweet Pea Farm.
Grandma's so happy Homestead. Hello.
Homestead.
That's what I said.
You said Homestead.
No, I said Homestead.
You got Homestead on the brain, apparently.
I know I'm going to have to... I've been seeing posts in the Georgia Beekeepers things that people are already starting to see swarms and catch swarms.
Yeah.
So I got to get my swarm traps out. Probably do that on Monday. And
both hives are still very much active.
Yeah, I was watching them today. I'm a little nervous.
Why?
Because to me, it looked like the smaller hive, was coming over to the bigger hive and like maybe doing some robbing or something.
Which one? The one on the right is the smaller one?
Yeah, the one.
If you're standing in front of them, the one on the right is the smaller one?
Yeah, the one only has one super.
I don't remember that. I'm just trying to remember when I was standing behind them today, which one.
Okay, yes, the one
on the right is the smaller one. So I saw bees going in and out of that from back where you were checking for the mites. Like going in and out.
That's the bigger one. That's okay. If you're facing the back of the hives.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the back of the hives are here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The one on the right.
I just said if you're standing in front of it, not behind it. I did say that. You can go back and watch the video. I promise you. I just said if you're standing in front of it, which one are you talking about? So if it's the one with the varroa mite thing, that's the one that I saw a lot of activity. So that may be the same one you're talking about.
That's the one I think everybody's robbing from. I don't know.
Robbing from? I don't know. It looked like they were going in and out like like flying, not like going over to the other one. I don't know. We're
gonna find out pretty soon because I think we're supposed to be warm this week, and I think Carol and I are gonna suit on up and pop the top and look, see what we're looking at. If I got a couple of queen cells, I may bring them out and start it. Just see if I can split a hive if it's good and strong, and see what I can do. See, she said behind.
Right. No, I did not say behind.
Goldchar, what's up, brother? Yep, you did.
The second time I said when I was standing behind them. When I asked you which one, I said in front of them. Whatever. Anyways, so I'm talking about the first time. So whatever. It doesn't matter. I love what Idaho Hoosier says at the end there. I don't want to repeat it, but it's funny. But I do like that name. That's cool. It's just hard for my mouth to say Idaho Hoosier. Like 2 H-O's back to back is kind of hard on my tongue, I guess. So, anyway. See, she's got my back. Terry will always have my back. She may be lying through her teeth, but she's gonna say that I said it wrong. I love her. She's got my back. Yes, the first time you said if you're standing in front. There you go. Boom. I love you, honey.
I love you too. But either way, it's time to pop the tops on those honeybees.
Yes, it is.
And
most definitely is.
Take a look down in there, see what we got going on. If we can split them, maybe split one. Mm-hmm. If not,
so I have a little thing. So I don't know. Have we told everybody about our little incentive program for our daughter? I feel like we did.
I don't know, but I know I'm going to have to make a fundraiser.
So, in years past, I would be gung-ho about getting seeds started. And then life would get crazy, and I may forget to water, or I've watered late, or temperature would drop or something. And there were a lot of times that I would lose several seedlings, and it would just knock the wind right out of my sail. So I talked to my daughter. We were riding in the car one day, and she was sad because she had spent all of her money.
Well, let's kind of hit a pause button here and back it up. This year, or last year.
Yeah, in December. Mm-hmm.
We offered the girls a percentage program.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah.
And basically, and how that works is when we sell a cow or pig or, vegetables or anything, including the YouTube check, because they help with YouTube
everything. They help with everything here.
They get a percentage, and they have to put half of it in a savings account, and the other half they can do whatever they want with it.
And then birthday money, they can do whatever they want. They can put it in. They can put it all in checking. They can put it in savings. We're not going to tell them what to do with their birthday money.
Yeah.
So, they both, they both had a nice little bit. But Carol had a little bit more because she had done some work and had earned some money extra. So, she had a little bit more than Ladessa did. Well, Ladessa went through her money as if we expected, because it was Christmas time, right? She wanted to buy things and stuff, and no big deal. But now she's in a spot where she likes having money and to be able to just buy herself a soda or buy her dad a soda or whatever, And so I recognized that as a mother. And I said, well, Ladessa, I have a proposition for you and your sister. And I said, here's the thing. We really need to have some plants ready to go outside as soon as the frost is over. And I don't know that I want to take the risk on there being plants available and them being affordable, because things were starting to climb, and people were talking about shortages of this, that, and the other. And so I was like, so I really want to try and get a bunch of our stuff started from seed. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you and your sister a list of the things that we want grown and how many plants of each we want grown. For every plant that you can fulfill of that order, I will give you $1 for every single plant. Now, keep in mind, we aren't going crazy needing 400 of this and 200 of that. That's not what we're going for. And I also told her that if she wanted to grow extra, that if we have any kind of swaps where she can say, hey, I'll give you these tomato plants if you'll give me some okra. If she wants to be able to fill it that way, she can do that. And I said, so that's the deal. And so I proposed it to Carol. And because Carol has money in the bank, and it was almost her birthday, and she knew she was going to get money for her birthday, she was like, that's not worth it to me. So Ladessa has taken this very seriously. She is making sure she waters every morning. She gets upset if the thermostat is not, because we have a smart plug in there. Every once in a while, it'll turn off for whatever reason. She gets upset if she looks in there and the lights are off and the heater's not on or whatever. And so she's really and it was exactly what I wanted. I wanted her to be motivated enough that she would take it seriously and get it done. And the rationale that Jason and I have is that we've budgeted a certain amount in our grocery bill every week. We've got the same amount budgeted every week. And so I said, look, that money is going to be there regardless. So if we don't have to buy tomatoes because you grew plants, then, that's where all that money is going to come from, is we're going to be able to breathe a little bit easier, not having to buy all that stuff, and so she is on top of it. And it was so funny because today she came in. Oh, when I was doing the video, what was the video that I was doing? Oh, about the mushrooms in the starting the potting mix. So I was doing that video, and in order to do that, I wanted to do a little bit of planting and show everything. Well, she got on to me. She's like, you are cutting into my profits. And I said, Ladessa, all I did was put the seed in the dirt. You still got to make it grow. So as far as I'm concerned, that's still you. She come in today with that flat and like, I think I put 3 seeds in every hole and like all 3 seeds in every one. Like she come out with a big flat today of like 36, like 6, it's a 6-pack. So 6 packs. And I promise you every single one of those things had at least 2 plants in it. And I was like, that's $72 right there. And that's all tomatoes. And I'm like, but I'm not... And we're going to get to that, Kathleen, because I think we're going to end up doing that too. So
I'm never going to get a tractor.
Yeah, we will. Because again, it'll be the same thing. If we're not buying it at the store, it's still in our grocery bill.
Right.
I'm not going outside of what we're already paying.
These girls, if you do the canning thing now, these girls are not only going to be double dipping, they're going to be triple dipping.
Why?
Why? Because Ladessa gets these plants to grow.
Uh-huh.
That's $1 a plant.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
But I capped her. I capped her at like $200, I think. Is what we agreed
200
to.
bones.
$100 for each kid.
Okay.
She's taking both.
You, then, if we get an abundance and we sell...
Yes.
They get a percentage of that.
Yes.
Now you're going to turn around and talk about, we might offer them an incentive to can?
Okay, let me ask
you. That's 3 times they getting paid off of 1 plant.
But let me ask you something. Are you happy with the results in all 3 situations?
That's not beside the point.
Yes, it's not.
No,
it is absolutely the point.
That is so.
It is absolutely the point. I am not going outside of the budget of what we've already had. It's not anything extra. So it's. I don't see where the problem is.
The problem's gonna be is your daughter's gonna get a cigar and she's gonna be sitting back there in the fall when it's time to pay up for everything, and she's gonna be like,
"Good night, Julie."
Be like from Monopoly. Mm-hmm. She's gonna have that little one eyepiece and a top hat.
Yeah. Well, but again, I look at it as I found the Achilles heel. I know what's going to motivate her at this point, because she may get at a point where it's not worth it to her. I don't know that I think that will ever happen with her.
That will not happen with Ladessa.
But she really did, 3 different jobs. That's exactly right.
How's it 3 different jobs?
Now, somebody asked if we would be, didn't C-Dean say, will you have plants for the local farmer's market? In Georgia, we actually have to have a plant resale license. I don't know how much it costs. Don't know that it's worth it.
$100.
But, if...
Every license in Georgia is right around $100.
Yeah.
Except for egg kennelling, which they just give you for free.
Mm-hmm.
And your quail breeder's license and the cottage license.
Yeah, they're all...
Quail breeder's license used to be $30. I don't know what it is anymore.
Yeah.
And your cottage license
was
$80, but it may have gone up to $100.
Oh, I thought it was $100. I don't know. But anyway. So, yeah.
But you can process this deer. You can be a deer processor in the state of Georgia without a single license, without going through a single inspection.
I mean, you probably still have to have a business license.
Yeah, but
nothing special.
Nothing special.
Would you sell plants to friends?
Maybe.
Yeah, so you do go through Anderson, I'm just saying.
Well, look, gas hits $4.25 a gallon. Jason ain't gonna be going but one time. Yeah. Jason ain't gonna be making 2 trips.
My thoughts exactly when swept. They could start a bread business.
Yes.
Hey, bears.
Just like
Granny Frammy.
I try to tell Carol to sell her paintings. Carol's gotten into painting skulls, and they are absolutely beautiful. Like when we lost Delma, when we took it out there, she waited for the coyotes and everything to clean it up. She went and found where the skull was. She brought it back and painted a beautiful scene on it with a lot of flowers and stuff. And she gave it to Doc because he came over and tried to help us through acupuncture to see if we could get her to stand back up. And that's when we kind of figured out that she probably messed up something real bad where she was
Delma.
She was paralyzed. Yeah. So we had to put her down.
So Carol did her skull and gave it to Doc, which is really cool. Get that girl Etsy. Etsy's so expensive though for what it takes off, but I don't know. So I want to address this. So Lost Dude says our incentive was a roof over our heads, food in our belly, and maybe a movie on Friday night. I get that. But I have kids that go forage. They don't care about whether I feed them or not. They'll just go find it themselves. So like some of the things that, used to be great motivators for us, they just really don't, it doesn't, and I know that probably sounds bad, it doesn't register to them that they should, because they are grateful for that stuff. But this is something that is a little bit more above and beyond, in my opinion. This is a little bit, asking a little bit more, because she is routine, this is a responsibility of hers. It's not just a chore. She's taking it personally that this is our way of being able to supply food this year.
Right. And I'm right there with Lost Dude. I've felt that way for the longest time, but I don't want my farm, my homestead, to become a subdivision.
No.
When I'm dead and gone. So by doing this, it gives me a couple of opportunities here. One, they see that they can make money homesteading and farming, and they'll be able to pay the bills and keep the lights on and blah, blah, blah. And two, it helps educate them and keeps them understanding the food system, where their food comes from. But three, it also helps me teach them money management skills, getting on a budget, balancing their account, setting smart goals, setting financial goals, and then when they get to a point, we'll be talking to them about investing in gold and silver and investing in different things like that. So they have a portfolio so that at 15, 16, 17, whenever they get to that point, they're already investing in their retirement.
Right.
And so, because that's one of the things that, my parents didn't take the time to teach me that. My parents didn't really take much time for anything. But
that's
I had to learn.
We're teaching them.
I had to learn a lot of this stuff, budgeting, meal planning, stuff like that, all on my own. When I was, out in the real world, living all on my own. And now, granted, the Marine Corps did offer classes and MCIs, Marine Corps Institute, they had financing for Marines, math for Marines, spelling for Marines, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
All these kind of things. And I did take the financing one, and the math and the spelling just to get the credits, get them real quick.
But it's nothing like having to do it in practice in the real world. And that's the thing that I remember Jason telling Blaze this early on. And he told him, he's like, I am trying to provide you with the real world experience without it actually hurting. Yeah. Because when you leave here, it's going to hurt. And so I would rather you do it here, learn how to avoid it, so that it doesn't hurt when you get out there. Yeah. And so that's basically the route that we're taking, is we're making sure, and some of you know this and some of you don't, but my mom died when I was 12. And so I never learned how to cook for myself. I didn't know how to do laundry for myself. I went off to college and had a roommate, and I had never done my own laundry. And she thought it was preposterous. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to do laundry. I really don't. She's like, okay, well, we're going to learn. And so she put little things up on the wall of what color, colors get this temperature and all of this different stuff. And so I learned. I didn't learn cooking because I worked for Arby's and I worked for an Italian restaurant. And so they fed me. So I never had to cook for myself. And it wasn't until I moved out on my own and I went to pay for chicken breasts and realized how expensive real food is. And I panicked. Like, I had no idea how to cook for myself. And this was before the internet where you could just Google a recipe and follow it. Like
before the internet? How old are you?
I'm old as dirt. Anyway, so, so that's the thing is that when Jason and I got together and we started talking about how his parents didn't really teach him much, that he had learned a lot through the military and being out on his own, but, I had to fend for myself for a very long time. And so when we started raising our kids, that was the big thing, was I want them to be able to take care of themselves. I don't want them to be in college going, I don't know how to cook for myself. I don't know how to do my laundry.
And Granny Fanny makes a great point about what we're going through as a nation right now with inflation. And it's hard to try to make a budget because prices are changing from week to week, if not day to day.
This is very true.
And so one of the things that the girls have to do is they alternate weeks. They sit down with Robin and they make the menu for the week, and then they make the grocery list of anything that we have to buy. And one of the things that I noticed, because one of the incentives is that if you can stay under the budget, at the end of the month, we'll calculate it up, and whoever stayed under the budget the most gets a reward. Mm-hmm. So they will be looking for sales and coupons and flat out told them we're not going all over God and country looking for it. You got 3 stores that you can pick from.
But they're also making the menu based on those sales.
Mm-hmm. And they are definitely paying attention to what we have in the freezer. They've actually gone to the point where, because right now the eggs are rolling in, right? So we keep a dozen eggs in the refrigerator, but then anything over that, they have been cracking, because we love scrambled eggs here, and going ahead and pre-mixing and pre-making a dozen eggs, because when we sit down as a family to have scrambled eggs, it's a dozen eggs. And put them in Ziploc bags and sticking them in the freezer. And so I also starting to see Carol sat down, and because Carol likes Doritos. And when
she heard on the news,
she started hearing about shrinkflation and stuff on the news. And she's like, I'm not spending my money to go get a bag of Doritos and half of it be air. And so she learned how to make homemade Doritos. And let me tell you, the Mama Jammas were good, if not better than the regular Doritos. But one of the things that I have been noticing is that the girls are kind of working together a little bit as a team when it comes to this shopping thing. I don't know if they made a deal behind closed doors that, whoever gets the bonus at the end of the month, they'll split it with the other one, because they've been keeping track of what stuff has been cost. They'll write it in the margin in their notebooks, and then they go back and look, and they'll look at me and they'll say, hey, Pop, Daddy, 2 weeks ago the tuna was $1.89. Right now it's 56 cents. I think we should get extra. And so we'll buy a whole box. And we've been doing that a lot, and Dessa's really, really good at it. Dessa's been, like, this last week, Dessa was way under budget. And we bought a tremendous amount of extra stuff to be able, so that way, a lot of it, and it's stuff that we'll eat. It will be like the cans of diced tomatoes, or the cream of mushroom soup, stuff like that we use as a base for things. I think we got like 24 cans of cream of mushroom soup and like 24 of cream of chicken, because we found them on sale.
Yeah, they were like 35 cents or something 1 week, so we picked up a bunch of them.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things that we've been doing. Now, Mama Z is not in here. She's probably working on the edit right now, but she is getting ready to start a collaboration of how you save money in these times. How are you kind of cutting corners during this time of inflation? So if you guys want to be a part of that collaboration,
definitely check it. Yeah.
Hey, send her an email. Let her know that you heard about it here on our live stream, and go over there and tell you want to be a part of it, and talk about what you're doing. Because hey, your little trick, may help somebody
stretch your dollar,
not have to skip a meal, or may help somebody make it to the end of the month. Yeah. Aldi. We found them at Aldi.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the one that's kind of close to you. It was the one all the way over there on Clemson Boulevard.
I mean, it could be the same.
Yeah.
But, let's see. I traded the money I spent at Walmart with the local farms. Yeah. No way. No low prices like that here in Oregon. That's crazy.
Well, look, I'm not ashamed of something. We've got something. The local blood bank has offered.
You're so funny. You're gonna tell everybody our business.
Look, this is something that is useful for everybody. They're throwing big money at people to get them to come in and donate blood. We missed one or two because of COVID and then waiting to get over it, drives that they had. Well, we got an email that they're going to, basically between Robin and I, they're going to give us like $90.
You normally get a $20 gift card.
Yeah.
And they're offering an additional $25 gift card. So I looked at Jason, and this is a funny thing. Like, I've been listening to a Audible book that will definitely send you into prepping mode. And I was listening to it, and so I've started throwing some things out at Jason, and he's like really happy. So I said to him, I was like, hey, I saw something come across our email about being able to get like $45 for our blood instead of just the $20. And he was like, okay, when is it? And I was like, it's next week. We just have to make, and I don't really think you have to make an appointment, but they kind of basically wanted us to make an appointment. And I said, because I was thinking that would be like $90 we could put towards food prep. And he's like, wait, what did you say? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's $45 times 2, which means, we could, because I think they'll give you a gift card to Walmart if you want Walmart, or just a Visa card or whatever. So
but I mean that's over.
That's almost our budget.
Yeah,
our budget's $125, so that's almost an entire week's worth of groceries for us.
Right there.
So that's huge.
Yeah.
What's the book? 1 second after. They just took mine, never paid me. Well, we have a local blood bank around here that, because I think with COVID and everything, I think because of COVID and other things, they're having an issue with keeping blood readily available. And so every once in a while, they'll throw out those incentives.
Yeah, we usually,
every once in a while. It's usually 20.
Yeah, we usually give every 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
8 to 10 weeks. But like I said, we
haven't lately.
We haven't. We missed the last 2 due to catching COVID.
My friend donates plasma. See, we don't do plasma. I mean, if we wanted to do that, we could, but I'm just
taking full advantage of it. I mean, that's a whole week's worth of groceries right there.
Yeah.
And
that doesn't happen all the time. That's a once in a while kind of thing. So when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I can handle that. So.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things that as the prices and I got some gas stored up every week. the routine was on Tuesdays, I go to my acupuncture and I fill the car up, and I'll fill up a 5-gallon or a 6-gallon gas container. Mm-hmm. Because we have lawnmowers here, chainsaws, different tools and stuff that are gas operated, that we just always got to have the gas. I used to be able to go and fill up the car in 2 5-gallon containers. It was like $25. Mm-hmm. I used to be able to do that. I can hardly, I'm not even filling the tank now for $25. But we were able to get a little bit of a cushion to hopefully maybe last these.
I love him.
You get to a point where, see, that makes me feel good.
I love him. I'm so glad he's not working anymore. Because he has a little bit more time now, and I love seeing him.
I'm just happy that our friendship
has reached that level. You can talk about bodily functions.
Mm-hmm. Don't let me catch you live on Facebook. Don't let me catch you live on Facebook.
So Lost Dude said $125 for 4 people. Our grocery bill is like $175 for 2. I got to get out of California. That's so funny.
Yeah.
What is there a joke in that about an April Fool's video?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about the April Fool's video thing.
Part of my income in college was plasma, $10 a shot, but that was a long time ago. I know a lot of people that do it. I had a friend who did it a lot, and she said the only thing is that she had almost like a buildup of where they would stick, because they stick you so often that she got scar tissue there, and it was, it was a little uncomfortable. Yeah. But
I started giving blood in high school, and I just got in the routine in high school, and then in the Marine Corps, it was like almost mandatory because they would keep your blood, so that way if anything ever happened,
right, they'd have it.
They'd have your blood for you,
right.
But then when I got out, I just kept right into the routine, because it's one of those things that what's the catchphrase, like your blood can save 3 lives.
Something like that.
Or something like
that.
Look,
there's Mama Z.
And so if I can take 30 minutes, 45 minutes if you count the whole new wait time that you have with COVID.
You gotta fill out paperwork every time. They gotta take your temperature, all that stuff.
And I saved 3 people's lives, so be it. I got no problem doing that. And I worked in the medical field. I worked in dialysis for a while, and I know how important it is.
See, so Deanna just verified that. She said from somebody who has to draw routine labs from someone who's had a plasma scar, it's a real pain. Yeah, so that was the thing that she said, is that it was a little much.
Yeah.
I've been topping off every time my tank dropped below 3/4. Prices have gone up every 2 to 3 days. Ours finally flatlined, like not this past Friday, but the Friday before. So I have been keeping an eye on it, and it has kind of dropped a little bit. But like we were saying before, I don't know about other states, but Georgia has, I think he has signed in.
He signed it. He signed it yesterday or the day before.
It was yesterday.
I saw it on the YouTube news.
Somebody asked earlier. Somebody asked earlier if that delay was a lot less this time.
Yeah.
If we have a food tax. Now let me tell you something that's pretty awesome.
Thank you, Naturally NC, by the way.
So in Georgia, there is a food tax.
There is?
7.5%. However, because we live so close to the South Carolina state line, we do all of our food shopping in South Carolina, which does not have a food tax.
Then it happens. You just said it live on TV. Now it's going to be. Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Rear. This is Department of Agriculture.
No.
We would like to talk to you about why.
Because I still have to pay gas tax when I go back and forth. Got gas at $3.99 today. Near me, down 85. So around where I'm at, it is in town today. It was $3.86. Yeah.
Well, at Sam's, it was
$3.85.
$3.85.
But when I went the other day, it was No, that was in Greenville. As I told you, it was like $3.75.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's coming down a teeny bit, but I don't expect that to stay for long. So
they're going to do what they're going to do.
It is what it is.
You know.
So, and then,
I am missing my Prius right now.
Most deaf.
You know.
54 miles to the gallon, even the day that it busted.
But I'm getting 40-something with this new little car too, so.
Yeah, it's not too far.
Yeah, it's not that big of a thing. Mm-hmm. But I just miss playing my video game. It was like a video game trying to get the electric motor to keep going. So. But hopefully, look, if you know me, you know one thing, that I'm all about the environment. I'm a conservationist. I'm an environmentalist. I think we should do whatever it is that we can do to help and repair our environment. I believe that God put us here on the planet, like it says in the Bible, as husbands to the planet and everything that's on it, and it's our responsibility to take care of it. So with that being said, even though Al Gore tells you, and the one representative out of California tells you that it's cow farts is the reason for global warming, those of us that know, even though I might, after today, present a pretty big argument for pig farts. Because that was kind of on the gross side.
That was pretty gross.
It was kind of on the gross side.
Pretty gross.
So, I'm not 100% on board with electric cars quite yet. But I think we're heading down the right road. I got into a little bit of a debate with one of my little California friends out there. He's a really good friend of mine. I think I'm his Paul.
Yeah.
Because I think he'll push buttons just to see what I'll do. But one of my big holdups is look, I have to take cows to a processor right now. And so until they come up with an alternative way for me to be able to pull those cows an hour from the house to get to a USDA processor, I'm not going full electric,
And it's not that we don't have anything that literally pulls that much weight right now that's efficiently. Hi from Arkansas.
Why do I feel like I know that person?
I don't know, but cow farts, pig farts, Jason's story gas, this live stinks.
Well, the reason why I said about pig farts is because one of our sows she wants some loving.
She's in heat.
And so this evening, right before we were getting on
our live.
Yeah. Our live. They were out there doing the love push back and forth. And Han they were doing the love push back and forth, and all of a sudden Han just stopped. Now, if you got pigs or you've been around pigs, you know when they're doing the love push, they're grunting at each other. Looking over there to see what they were doing, because they were kind of like doing this ring around the posy thing where they were chasing each other, and seemed like she was more chasing him than he was chasing her.
Right.
Because I was just wondering if maybe Han was losing a step. But they do it like 3 times, and then she goes back up the hill. Well, Han starts to walk up the hill, and he just stops. And his tail kicks up, and he just... Now
keep in mind, we're here.
I gotta my pond is about an acre.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the other side of the pond. And he's just cutting it loose. And I'm like...
Traveling over the water.
There must have been some Brussels sprouts in the slop or something the other day.
I don't know, but it was rough.
Because he was...
Geeky Gardens, you're absolutely correct. That we definitely noticed a difference in 2020 when a lot of people weren't on the roads. Mm-hmm. But the cows were still farting, so, I don't know. I don't think fossil fuels are as big of an issue as the sum of all other things we're doing to the planet. There's a good point there.
That is true, too.
Elon said himself that electric vehicles are more expensive to fuel up than gas and diesel. Really?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, think about it. Think about what it takes to make those charging stations. Where are those charging stations getting the...
Yeah. Good evening, Bandana Grandma. It's good to see you.
So...
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, because you have to get the electricity from somewhere, so...
But speaking of
Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear what he did?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and his girlfriend, wife, whatever she is, got mad. He sold all of his properties. Mm-hmm. He literally bought a $50,000 tiny home. Mm-hmm. And pretty much, I guess he parked it at his job, somewhere around his work facilities. And that's where he lives now. Because he said, look, I'm all in. I'm all about... And I'm kind of excited about this. I really wish I was younger. Mm-hmm. He wants to put a colony on Mars. And I would love to be the guy that goes up there and starts a garden on Mars and raising livestock on Mars. I would love to be that guy.
You're funny.
I just think that would be cool.
So the question is, why do you have to take your cattle to a USDA processing facility? In order to sell it, that is the law. Yeah, it has to be tested to make sure there aren't any diseases or anything that can be passed through the meat. That's just for everybody's safety. So, yeah. And that's one that we don't argue with, because if we're selling our meat to somebody else, we want to make sure that that meat is healthy. We don't want anybody getting sick. So they just do testing and stuff to make sure there's nothing wrong with the meat before it's processed. So
now, granted, the whole well, we've been taking it. Our processor is called Happy Valley. And
which is ironic.
I don't know why you find that so funny.
Because they're going to be slaughtered, and it's called Happy Valley. It's telling your kids that you took, the dog got into an accident, but you took him to the farm out in the country somewhere. It's a Happy Valley. Okay, sorry. Electric only makes sense if you have ample, cheap electric. Right, exactly. Yeah.
But they're so quiet. Blaze, when Blaze was, what was it, Earth Science, or he just started biology. And we got on the subject. And this is when I knew my kid was brilliant. Mm-hmm. Where are you going?
Mind your own business. Are you not going to talk? Stop. It's not funny. It's not funny.
It's very funny.
It's not funny at all.
I knew that my kid was brilliant beyond measure.
Why? What did he do?
Well, we got to talking about alternative energy, and I think we just saw that the one thing with that couple in California where they took that old Mercedes and they turned it into biodiesel.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which, in all honesty, in our current situation, would be the way to go.
Why? The biodiesel?
Yes. That's so. You are so making me lose.
Sorry.
But he said he now. Granted, Blaze was 9 at this point, and he was like, you know what we could do? We could use magnets and make magnets by the opposite,
right, polar
opposites, right, and make them scoot the cars down the road, and we just have to have tracks everywhere. And I was like, okay, that could possibly work, but I don't really
see that happening.
I don't know how you would turn off an off ramp or anything, but
right.
But so there are ways around it. Biodiesel, I think, is probably one of the best ways to get off of fossil fuel, mm-hmm, and still have vehicles that have the power to be able to pull, still be able to run, and it's an easy conversion kit on your diesel motors. And then Arby's, McDonald's, all of these restaurants where they have that frying oil, mm-hmm, they have to pay somebody to come get it
to
dispose of it. Well, where are they disposing of it? They're throwing it in landfills and however
Not
else.
Anymore.
So.
Not anymore.
Or they're putting it in drums and putting it at the bottom of the ocean. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or that may be just the nuclear waste still. I don't know.
And I don't know if they're doing this now more, because our restaurant was kind of on the higher end as far as like technology and stuff. Mm-hmm. But we had a system set up that it literally drained almost like how your septic tank does. Mm-hmm. Like after it was done, it went into a vat up underneath the parking lot. Like there was a big vat, and then you had a valve where they could come in with like a vacuum and literally hook up to the vacuum house. Like they didn't have to come inside or anything. They could pull up, hook up to that, it would suck it all out of there, and then they would go, and they'd come like twice a week or something like that.
So you take a look at stuff like that, and to me, that's like a dual purpose chicken. Mm-hmm. You're getting eggs and meat. Well, switching to biodiesel, you're disposing of that oil.
Yeah, but you're fueling.
Clean? Yes, it burns very clean. And cleaner than
his truck smell like fresh.
Yeah, and that's what I've been behind a couple of them that had stickers on their car that says this car uses biodiesel, because you're like, why am I smelling French fries?
Right.
And that's exactly what it.
Mm-hmm. What it was.
You look up and there's that sticker. This car runs on biodiesel.
Yeah.
And and you can also get it from algae.
Yeah, well, is it Exxon or BP that's studying that?
Yeah, I think it's BP that's starting to study that. So, but
yeah, see, that's what it is. That's what I think is now happening. Is that now the companies are all going to that, to where they can sell it back because then it's filtered, like it's. Good, solid.
I seen a post on Facebook where a truck driver filled up his 18-wheeler and it cost him over $1,000.
Yeah, everywhere. It's at least $1,000.
They said with biodiesel, it roughly would come out to about 5 to 10 cents a gallon.
That's crazy. But even to process it and everything, mm-hmm. I don't know. At the end of the day, we definitely have, our energy is very dependent on one source as opposed to more than one source. And even in homesteading, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? You just never do. And so that's the thing, is like you want to make sure that you diversify a little bit. And so energy and electric and stuff should all be the same. So good night, Morgan.
Night, Morgan.
So that's kind of my thing, is that I feel like we've set ourselves up for this, because if we try to do everything as a monoculture, even with our power and our, whatever, if we're always a monoculture and that stuff, eventually that can be a problem, because the dependency is there for that one thing.
And you're probably wondering, why in the world are they talking about this tonight? Well, we're segueing. We're segueing. And you guys are going to start seeing some videos from us more on our recycle, reuse, repurpose stuff. Because here's the thing. You know, Mama Z is exactly right with doing her collaboration on Cutting Corners, which we will be participating in. But we're also going to show you guys how to repurpose, reuse some things to be able to make your life a little bit easier, grow food, do some ordinary things. And if you don't have these things, 9 times out of 10, you can find them on the side of the road, just driving down the road. Mm-hmm. So be on the lookout for those type of videos coming within the next week or so. Right?
Yes. I was just reading in the next couple of weeks, because we're only doing 2 videos a week. Kathleen they're talking about taxes and how the California came after him hard and tried to extort $150,000 in fuel tax because he was running his car on biodiesel, which is ridiculous. And Kathleen said, yes, the taxes that are supposed to fix our crappy roads. Let me tell you a funny story. So Georgia and South Carolina, because of how close we are, you know, a lot of times one will do one thing and then the other will fall in suit. Well, Georgia doing this thing with the taxes got South Carolinians talking about doing that. And what ended up happening is the South Carolina government was like, no, we're not going to do that. We still have to pay for our roads. However, at the same time, they have like $1 billion in their account to be able to fix the roads, but they're not even using that money that they've collected there, because they did like a splost where they added like a cent or whatever to be able to help fix all the roads. So they've got all this money. They're not using that. They're using COVID relief money that they didn't use during COVID because they didn't need it. So now all of the South Carolinians are like, why can't you suspend our state taxes? Because you got the money in the bank and you got extra. You're planning on fixing everything. Why do you need that for? Because the thing for for Georgia is not for the whole year. It's like just till the end of May or something like that. And so it cracks me up that, you know, that people are starting to see through some of this stuff. It's very interesting. So... Wait, what? First we feed algae to our animals, then we eat algae salad and stuff. Now they want to make fuel cars with it. Yeah.
Okay, Vineyard Chicks asked, Big Bar Homestead, can I ask what I would need to buy to milk a cow that won't let me near her? Ooh. Do I need to buy a head gate, or is there a cheaper way? There's a cheaper way. And honestly, we have a video out on building a cow milking stanchion. You can go check that out on how to build it. But let me explain the process here that you need to do. Okay? You got to get a halter on that cow.
Yeah, okay? That's going to be the tough part.
That's going to be the hard part. Once you get the halter on that cow, you can put a lead on her and coax her with feed. Be real gentle. Don't ever raise your voice. Don't get super excited. Stay calm. If you've got to chase her for 6 miles, just stay calm. You may... I don't know where you got the cow from. I don't know the people that you got the cow from. But our very first dairy cow, I could not go anywhere around her for better part of 6 months because I looked just like the dude that had her. And he used the cattle prod her, beat her with a stick, hit her with anything he could to get her to do what he wanted to do. And cows, I mean, I wouldn't want to be around somebody that did that to me all the time, and they're not any different. Mm-hmm. So I had to build up trust with this cow. And sounds like exactly what you need to do also. So if you can get that milking stanchion build a funnel that you can coax her into that milking stanchion. Once she gets in that milking stanchion, do not close the head gate down on her right away because she'll tear it up. Just, if you build it like ours, there's going to be a little feed trough.
Play classical music.
Down there. Put the feed in there. Let her be. Let her eat until her heart is content.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do this overnight. This is not something you're going to be able to fix overnight.
You're going to... But you have to be consistent. If you cannot be consistent, you're going to fail. Mm-hmm. at the same time every morning, and then 12 hours again, because you got to milk a cow twice a day. 12 hours later, right then and there. So
she'll get in a routine.
So she'll get in a routine, and she will. She'll after
she'll start remembering she's getting her feed there, and so she'll start going to it.
And it's got to be a little bit of an extra feed, something that she would want. So if you're feeding her just regular feed out there, and she's getting grass and maybe a little bit of feed out there, put sweet feed in that feed trough, and you'll get her in there. And then after a couple of times where she's starting to not fuss, not give you an issue with going in to get to the feed, just walk up there and she's going to come back, and first couple of times she may come back, maybe even try to take off on you. Just let her go. Don't fight her. And it may take you one whole time while she's eating, you may have to take a step forward and just stand there. Wait 5 or so minutes, take another step forward and just wait. And take another step forward till you get up to the milking stanchion. And then I would not close the head gate yet. Some people say this would be the time to start to slowly put the head gate to the board over, but not lock it. I would want to just pet her. Just pet her.
We have a brush. We would brush ours. They loved to brush. At least ours did.
And once you get to doing that, and she's okay with you standing there right away, she's letting you pet her, and it's not bothering her, then go ahead and push that board over. Don't lock it. Just go ahead and push it over.
No sudden. They
smooth.
Pretty
nice and smooth.
Easy.
Right? You get her used to that. She's okay with it. Go ahead and lock it. And then here comes the hard part. You're thanking me already in the chat, but here comes the hard part. Okay, once you get her used to the stanchion, once you get that, you got to start coming down them hind haunches. You got to start getting that trust there, and then sitting down there with her. If you're going to milk by hand or with a machine, I would just get you a little stool and sit down there. And then I would just reach over and touch the udder. Touch the udder. Get her used to you touching it. Getting her used to...
Is the cow in milk now?
Yeah. Get her used to you touching that udder. Wiping that udder down. If you're going to milk by hand, I would just...
No, let me ask.
Milk her out without putting a bucket under there. Start watching it, see if she's going to kick, And just baby step your way into it. And that's a good question. And Sam's actually so much smarter when it comes to cows than me. So he has so much more experience than I do. Because if she's in milk now, hopefully you have the calf with her so that that way you don't have to milk her. I can get close enough to touch her. She won't let me pet her. By funnel, do you mean a couple of cattle panels angled toward each other? Yes. Well, angled towards the milking stanchion.
Now, when we first started, we didn't have the whole milking stanchion. We literally had a barn that had a good solid wood wall. And we literally attached a gate. One of the big long gates to one side. And if you look at our hand milking video, you'll see it pretty clearly. But with that, we were able to, once we got her, we could open it all the way up so it didn't look threatening to her. We could pour the feed in there. She would make her way in there. And once she was comfortable, we could swing that gate behind her. And it literally closed up next to the wall again. So it was at an angle. So what would happen is that would pinch her back hips so that she wouldn't be able to move and, get around a whole lot. And then what we had to do is cut out one of the bars for the gate to be able to reach in there so that we didn't break our arm if something, happened. But that was another, because she's asking for an inexpensive way. If if you have access to that, that might be another way to do it before having to build something. If you have, but that again is dependent on having a good solid,
a solid wall on one side and a solid wall in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I would say, when you do get to milking, and you're probably way off from this now, but one thing that I've learned is putting that the shoulder that you're close to the cow, closest to the cow, when you put that shoulder on that back haunch, cows kick kind of forward. They don't kick back like a horse. They pick up and kick forward. So if you have your shoulder there, they feel that resistance and they're a little more unlikely to, I mean, they still can kick. But when they feel that resistance, you feel it before they go, because you feel that muscle there. So you're in contact with that muscle. So if you put your shoulder on it, you're going to feel that flinch before you get kicked. So that's another thing down the road when you are actually milking. It's definitely something to do.
You know, if you look at like Jess and Maya, their video, they have that kick preventer thing where it grabs that tendon and it kind of pulls it up. Now I've used that at the dairy because there are some cows that are just ornery. But if you got one that maybe one of the teats is a little raw or something like that, and you just got to milk it out, you can grab that tendon with your hand and push up on it and get that one milked out. But that's for you later on down the road. Somebody asked, the Arkansas guy, he asked, can we sell raw milk in Georgia? Yes, but it has to go into a container, and it has to have a sticker on it that says for pet